So Colin, it's lovely to see you here at London Film and Comic Con Winter. How have you been enjoying it so far today?
It's been a really fantastic morning actually. It's gone very, very quickly. I met a lot of good people, signed a lot of photos, and it's lovely to see so many photographs and such varying ages. So it's from young to less young, should we say.
I like the way you phrase that. Now, you had lots of photos flying off the table here, but particularly popular has been Arrow, hasn't it? Of course, Walter, your character in Arrow, has always been there for Ollie, hasn't he? So I wondered how likely we are to see you there again for him in the future when he needs you. Maybe in season 3 or maybe again later?
Well, I could be coming back in season 3. In fact, I will be, briefly, coming back in season 3. I think one of the saddest things for me was obviously losing Susanna. The character, I thought she was a fantastic character, and the sort of moral, well, I say hardly moral, but the spiritual centre of it all. I was sort of the moral. But I'd like to go back for Thea. I'd like to spend some time with Willa's character and just sort of help her through this tough time. But it's great to have been involved at any level, but we set it up, we did the pilot, it's a hit, so I'm proud to be part of that.
I mean, what would you like to see for your character in future when you go back, and why do you think it has been so popular, and was it surprising for you?
Well, for the character, I think, you know, there was talk briefly of a mayoral role, and then we had issues of timings. But why has it been so popular? I think it's been popular because at the beginning, especially, I don't think it still is yet, but it wasn't a vigilante piece. It was somebody who had the money, who left the policing to the police and took out the people who were above the law, which I thought was the zeitgeist of the time, really, because I think, you know, like I say, the police should really deal with the criminals, and we should be able to take care of those who think they're beyond redemption. You know, we need to sort a few high-end billionaires out, I think globally, actually.
And it's funny you mentioned the mayor there, because I've seen a number of tweets saying that you should be mayor of Star City.
Oh, have you? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, well, it'd be interesting. I mean, it'd be interesting having an English mayor. Could be the only... and I promise not to do it like Boris. I could really do it like that, couldn't I? Just pretend I'm totally harmless, but actually be a real villain.
Exactly, it's all going on in the background. You mentioned Thea. You mentioned Thea there, of course. We've had John Barrowman come into the cast as season regular this season, and how do you think Walter compares to Malcolm as a father figure for Thea?
Well, I think there is no question of what Malcolm's moral compass is. I think, you know, I consider myself to be Thea's dad. I mean, I've been the man in her life for a long time, and I'm horrified, to be honest. Malcolm Merlin. Would you let him near your daughter? No. So yeah, it's really quite clear to me. But you know, when you have to go on these journeys, and I think Thea will go on that journey and hopefully come back to the light. But it'll be interesting to see.
What's it been like working with people like Stephen Amell and Willa, of course, as well in the show?
Well, Stephen Amell, Paul Blackthorne, Susanna Thompson, you know, Mr. Diggle, who's fantastic, you know, Katie. We knew we were onto something special when we started it, and we have an incredible team. And I've got to say, Stephen is a fantastic captain, and he does do the salmon ladder, as everybody sort of is aware of. So it's exciting. It's thrilling. Colton came on, of course, you know, John, of course, coming on, and we had some great times. We've had some really good times. So it's always lovely when you go back out to Vancouver, which is a beautiful city. And
of course, we've got some crossover with the Arrow show, haven't we? With the Flash, yeah. I mean, talking about you coming back for Arrow, but how likely would we be to see you pop up maybe in Central City in the Flash?
Well, I think his character, Walter's a strong character, and I've got to say that to the fans, thank you, because you've been really, really supportive, and he seems to have hit a nerve. I'd be lovely to do that, yeah, and I think it's great to see two great shows spawned in the same sort of terrain. It's success of the writers and director as well. Of course, it took us both through from pilot to season, and I think Flash is going on to movie. And it's been an interesting genesis with regards to this strand of characters. So obviously, having done Punisher and then having done Resident Evil, Blood the Last Vampire, I'm sort of aware of the graphic novel genre. So this is it's lovely to be part of that genesis. So.
You mentioned the movie The Flash there. Of course, we've heard the casting lately. It's not going to be Grant Gustin from the TV show, but Ezra Miller, who was in We Need to Talk About Kevin with Tilda Swinton. I mean, what do you think about that being someone different? Because I think TV fans are a little bit disappointed it's not going to be Grant.
Well, I think the one thing you can't underestimate is the workload on a TV star. I mean, you know, and like Stephen, the guy playing you are the captain of a massive vessel. So to do a movie, it's a different energy, and I mean, we want him to live. We want him to. It's exhausting, and I mean, he's Flash. He runs. That's he just that's hard work, people. So I mean, Ezra's a fantastic actor. I think the key is always to have the dignity and the quality of the character, because the fan base we take very, very seriously. So I think the fans must never underestimate the pastoral care of the characters, and if that's happened, that's for a reason, and no way reflects on anybody, and that's good.
And finally, what can we look forward to coming up next from you, Colin?
Well, literally, I've done the season on the Musketeers, where I play General Alaman, who's a fantastic character, almost based on the Dumas' father, who was, of course, a general. Not many people realise the Count of Monte Cristo was based on, and he was a general at the time of Napoleon, and there's only been one other general of African descent of the same rank, and that was Colin Powell. So that's sort of interesting, and I sort of played that character in 24. So that's coming out. I'm working on No Offence with Paul Abbott, for Paul Abbott up in Manchester, and that's amazing. I did a piece on Broadchurch, and I'm about to sort of work on the new Kevin Costner movie, Criminal. So that starts soon. So it's very, very busy, and today I'm just meeting a lot of friends, seeing a lot of photos, and having a really good time.
It's been lovely to speak to you, Colin, and look forward to all of those projects coming forward. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.